What up, family? I'm gonna talk on a topic that probably is gonna hit home with a lot of people, and I just want to start off by saying that the things I'm gonna say are not in any way, shape, or form directed towards anybody I care about, don't care about, my friends, my foes, trolls. I don't give a fuck. This is not geared towards a specific person or persons. This is simply me just talking about some stuff that I just really need to pop off about. It's about taking responsibility for yourself. It's almost come to a point I've noticed over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years that people have come to a point where they don't accept responsibility for who they are or the way they are. They want to blame everything and everybody and not look inward at themselves. And I did that for a good portion of my life. That's why I became a drug addict. When I did drugs, that's why I was involved in a gang. Because all the horrible things I did when I was a young man. The guy you guys see now, the big Irish you see now, I'm nothing now like I was then. I'm a completely 180 from what I was then. But the fact is, those things, I used to say that. I used to say, well, because my mother abused me and everything else, that's why I did drugs. And all the bad shit that happened to me when I was little, that's why I get into drugs. And first my mom left my dad, and then there was an issue with where we were all going to live, and it felt like both me and my brothers had to live with friends because that's just the way it was at the moment. My dad had nowhere to take us. My mom, where she left and went, she had no room. And until everything got straightened out, that's just the way it was. She worked 2 jobs to make sure she had the money to get a new place, and everything got squared away. But my life was in fucking turmoil at 14 years old. And the fact is that I could have, and I did. Until I was 18 or 19 years old, I fucking blamed everybody and everything for the way I was, for the stupid shit I was doing. And it's, and then I came to that realization that until I take responsibility for myself, nothing in my life is ever going to fucking change. My life is going to be just as fucked up as it is, and it's going to stay that way until I change it. Until I make that change. And it took a long time. My ex-wife, thank you, Lord, that I met her, and that I went through the things I went through with her, because being around her and being with her made me a better person. And then my children came along, and that completely changed me. But the fact is that I didn't really change until I started realizing that every fucked up thing I did after a certain amount of time, even when I was 17, 18 years old, I was grown enough to know that the shit I was doing shouldn't be what I was doing. And even now, I see grown adults now that they don't take responsibility for who they are. They want to blame every fucking buddy in the world on why their life is the way it is. But the fact is that you can't blame everybody else. I don't care how fucked up your life was. I don't, and I know that sounds harsh, but I've told stories about how horrible the things I went through were, and look at me now. I've come past that. I've worked past that. And it takes work. It isn't something that just you can do. A close friend that used to have a lot of problems with that, but has really come into their own lately. and started really, accepting their role in who they are, who I'm very proud of, has really, and it's a big life changing type of situation they're in. But they're taking responsibility, and that's the first step. The first step is admitting that, I fucked up. And yeah, I had a real shitty life, and yeah, part of that life is what made me the way I am now, but you can't use that for the rest of your life. You can't. You can't. You have to start taking responsibility for yourself. And that is what is so fucked up about so much of society today. Nobody takes responsibility. Everything is always somebody else's fault. Everything. From the day-to-day activity of the human being, all the way up to fucking governments, all the way up to the fucking, the White House, the president, fucking the dictators, the fucking kings and queens across the world. It's always somebody else's fault. And this fucking, it's gotten to a point where it's out of hand. And yeah, maybe I talk on a global scale, but really, I'm more concerned on day-to-day life. You gotta, I can't stress this enough. You gotta take the fucking bull by the horns, and you gotta take responsibility for what you've done, and what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Only you can push yourself forward. You have a support system, and that's awesome. If you don't, find one. But you have to. You have to stand up on your own 2 fucking feet, and you have to say, God damn it, I'm not going to let me defeat me. And that is the biggest problem with so many people I know. It's not that everybody else in their fucking life defeats them. It's that they defeat themselves. They don't give themselves a chance. You guys heard me fucking raw emotion opened up in my last fucking video. And yeah, I had taken a pain pill, and yeah, I was kind of out of it, but the things I was saying were very true. And then I really sat down and think about all the things that I had said. And it was almost like I had gone back to that it's somebody else's fault. Not blaming anyone, but that my situation before is why I was happy. No, I was happy because I had finally made myself realize that I could be. And goddammit, I will do that again. I don't care what it takes. I have a beautiful person in my life that I love very much right now. And hopefully things will go a good way. And, if they don't, that's okay too. That's so many people just don't realize that one way or the other, you found somebody you connected with. And that is a blessing. That is a fucking blessing. To find human beings on this fucking planet that you connect. And that connection is there forever. And so many people don't allow that to happen. They don't allow that connection to reach in and grab them and stick them to another person. I'm lucky because I've met some beautiful people in my life, and every one of them I have kept close to my heart. Why? Because I want them there. And it's my responsibility. It's my responsibility. And it's my choice. And that's the other thing, is that it's all about every fucking choice you make. Every choice is your choice to make. Nobody else can do that for you. Nobody can nobody but you can make the choices, and only you can make yourself succeed or defeat yourself. Only you. That's the only person. You've got 100,000 people out there that might be right behind you, but goddammit, if you're not going to do it yourself, then those 100,000 people, no pushing and prodding and fucking support in the world from them is going to do anything if you can't stand up and do it yourself too. And like I said, this is by no means about anybody specifically, except the part about, somebody had made some big changes in their life recently, and I'm very proud because, that used to be their thing, was that the whole world was against them, but now they're starting to realize that if they take their bull by the horns and they be who they are, then that's what's going to make them happy. And that's what I'm going to do. I talked about how I wanted to find my happy again. I don't have to find it. I just have to grab it again. It's there. It's there. Just let it out. Let it be there. No, I'm not on drugs. I'm sure I sound like I'm fucking all whacked out because I'm talking like I am, but it's just like an epiphany. I was sitting here, silly enough, I was sitting here playing a fucking video game, and I was just thinking about all the things I had going on, and I have to go to a funeral in the morning for a person that I loved very much, and I realized that person that I have to go and watch be buried in the ground tomorrow lived every day to its fullest. She accepted responsibility for everything in her life. And even when she was sad, she still did not let that defeat her. And that, I hope, is her legacy. And that's what I try so hard to pass on to everybody. The only person in your life that can defeat you is you. Nobody else can defeat you as long as you're strong and you stand up. So stand up, take responsibility, and stop beating yourselves up. Do something about it. Peace. Much family love.